Okay. This is discussion 5, chapter 5. I've chosen prompt 2, which states, why does discrimination against members of the LGBTQ community continue today? In what ways is this form of discrimination both similar and different to that practiced against African Americans, Latinos, women, and other groups in society? For the first question, why does discrimination against members of the LGBTQ community continue today? Well, I feel like there's never going to be a part or a time in history where there's not going to be some sort of discrimination. It's just the nature of sin, I guess. There's always going to be someone who doesn't agree with someone else, or there's going to be someone who will treat someone else differently because of what they look like or who they are. But I feel like discrimination specifically against them is that because of the way they're trying to get awareness, I guess, and they're being associated with all the negative aspects of it, I guess. Riots, and they're being associated with the negative protests and riots. They're how, like, when they sit in streets causing traffic, or in a religious sense, sometimes they disrespect certain religions, or they try to change them and better suit themselves. I feel like they're kind of forcing themselves onto others sometimes, and I guess that's kind of, personally to me, that can be a little aggravating. But in the end, it doesn't really matter what. Someone will disagree. Someone will always disagree. Someone will always be negative towards them, I guess. The second question states, in what ways is this form of discrimination both similar and different to that practiced against African Americans, Latinos, women, and other groups in society? They're similar. They're similar in all many aspects, but I guess the most common one would be because there are people being hated on and disrespected. There's probably more similarities that I could probably list, but I have more differences than similarities. But I guess they're different because LGBTQ is associated with certain religions, suggesting being gay is wrong or being trans is wrong, with few LGBTQ members who, I guess, it's the few against the majority, I get, in a sense, because they're going to be looking at the ones who do it the wrong way, I guess. They'll look at that, and that will be what represents the majority. African Americans are associated with BLM riots and the violence that comes with them, and that's what people see, in a sense, and they're associated with every other African American that does a crime. I guess that's kind of how they can't really escape what other people do, I guess. It's kind of crappy, but it is what it is, in a sense. And some people say that, like, African Americans are the majority in prison systems, but it's actually not true. It's actually 57.6% white is majority, and black is 38.4%. What's it called? Where's the next one? Latinos are associated with immigrants and crimes that come with them. Every Latino or every Hispanic is associated with the next, even if they're not from the same country or origin. They're associated with gang violence, and I guess, again, it's the few that represents the majority. And my question would be, have you ever been discriminated, and in what sense was that? Or what? Yeah. I guess my question would be, have you ever been discriminated against? And how did that make you feel?